Hey, what's going on, friend? Dom here. This video that you're about to watch was something that I streamed live to LinkedIn not too long ago. And we covered the 3 questions that I think all financial advisors have to ask, answer, and then practically apply in order to be excellent. There is this notion of mediocrity that just really bugs me in the financial services industry. And I'm going to give you the tools on how not to be mediocre. So thank you for watching, and hopefully you enjoy the video. We're finally here together, and I'm getting all my technology sorted here. But go ahead and settle in. If you're joining in, I'm gonna give everybody a couple of minutes here to kind of do a little roll call. If you don't mind, let me know where you are listening from or watching from. That would be really cool if you want to do that while we're kind of calibrating. We got a lot of fun stuff today. We're going to do some giveaways. We will also do some Q&A, which I think will be very insightful for you. And we'll be going over what I think is some very, very helpful information. So yeah, chime in. Go ahead and let us know where you're, like I said, where you're listening from or where you're watching from. Very good. I'm gonna let's see. I'm gonna have to make sure the platform I'm on. I can't really tell who's here, which is somewhat of a disadvantage. But we're gonna make it work. I see, based on what LinkedIn has showed me, that there's 9 people so far. And I know we had like 60 something registered. So what I will say about, before we get started, what I will say is, in order to participate in the giveaway, you have to be present. So that's a big thing. So make sure you're present and make sure you stick around. And I'm not going to really get started before 3:30 because that's when I said I was going to get started. So I know people are like, hey, you already started. I'm just doing the preliminary stuff. It's all good. You didn't miss anything yet. But anyways, be very cool if you can give me some interaction and engagement. That, like, again, the platform I'm using is, I'm a little blind to comments and stuff like that, unless somebody goes ahead and kind of comments and let me know. That way I can see. I do see the thumbs up. Whoever gave that, thank you for that. I appreciate that. But if somebody can throw something in the chat, just like where you're listening from or something like that, that would be really helpful so I can kind of understand how I'm going to navigate Q&A. I do have a backup plan because, you know, you got to always be ready for technology. You never know if it's going to be there for you or not. So that being said, I'll be all right. I've done this plenty enough times that I will be all right. All right. What's up? Stephen Jarvis from the great Pacific Northwest. Yeah, but I was actually born in the Pacific Northwest. I was born in in Tacoma, Olympia, between Tacoma and Olympia and Fort Lewis. And so you're in the eastern part of the state. Great state. Jay Grant, what's up? Kansas City. Ashley, San Antonio, Texas. Girl, it's so hot down here. It ain't even funny. Ain't that right? I went outside today and nearly melted. It's like, what in the world is with this heat in Texas? It's crazy. Heat advisory every day. It's really crazy. But anyways, so we are going to get into these 3 questions. I think that was the title of what we were talking about today. So I don't want to disappoint from that. So 3 questions I believe all financial advisors, financial professionals, financial coaches, if you're under the umbrella of financial professional, what you need to know, the question. You need to know the question. You need to know the answer to the question. And you need to know how to apply the answer to the question. So that's what we're going to go over today. Like I said, everybody attending will get an opportunity to get my 3 Moves ebook, which I will actually, content from what today will be from the ebook. So just, you know, pay attention for that. I'm going to drop the link for that in the chat in just a second. When you download the ebook, you put your information in there. It's all for free, by the way. Because I just believe in doing great things for great people and for you guys giving me your attention. When you put your email and name in there, it's going to enter you into a drawing. And as long as you're present when I do the drawing, you have a chance to win a VIP ticket to the 3 Moves Challenge that I have coming up in a couple of weeks. Okay? So, what's up, Owen Nickel? What's up, man? DFW, homie. So, okay. So, here's the link to the ebook. So, you can go ahead and throw yourself in there into the running. I just threw that into the chat so that you have it. I don't think I can pin chats, unfortunately, on LinkedIn. I can try to do that real quick. Give me a second. I don't think I can, though. LinkedIn is one of those platforms that they're not quite as advanced as some of the other ones when it comes to being able to do all this fun stuff like pin chats and yada, yada, yada. So let me see if I can. I cannot, but this is what I can do. Give me a second, and we'll get started. Just hold your horses. I'm here for you. Okay, so let's do this. The other thing I was going to say, just real quick, if I have not traveled really since COVID for various reasons. Maybe you guys have been like that. Maybe you haven't. But anyways, that was been my excuse is somewhat COVID. But I will be in Chicago next week for the American Colleges Conference for African American Financial Professionals. So if you're there, please come holler at me. I would love to meet you. And I will also be attending my first Future Proof, which I think is in September or something like that. So if you're at any of these events, please come up and say hello. We'll absolutely like to meet you. So, okay, let's get into it. Let me get a pulse of who's in the room real quick. If you are in the room, on the live, and you are an existing financial professional with more than 3 years of experience, could you type 1 in the chat real quick? If you have less than 3 years of experience, type 2 in the chat. It has to do with how I'm going to disseminate this information, because I want to make it valuable for people that may not be as experienced as others. So I just want to get a pulse of who we have here in the room. All right. If you're more experienced, 3 or more years, type 1. Less than 3 years, type 2. Okay. All right. Cool. So I think everybody knows who I am, but just brief introductions, just in case I have come up in your feed. My name's Dominique Henderson. I typically go by Dom. I have 2 firms. I have my Jumpstart Coaching Lab, this is kind of basically the moniker for that, and all the platform information you see. And then I also have an RIA. And I've been in financial services for over 20 years. Most of you guys know me from YouTube. I got a lot of YouTube content out there and stuff. But basically, my mission in a nutshell was to make sure that everybody that wants access to financial advice had access to financial advice, because I strongly believe that good financial advice has the ability to change family trees. It's just I don't have the ability to serve everybody, nor do I have the want to. So what I started to do about 4 years ago is start to help career changers, existing financial professionals level up and essentially find and embrace their superpower so that they can go out and serve the people that they're called to, so that everybody can have the access to financial advice. So that's me in a nutshell. And what I kind of noticed here is the financial services industry is hard. Can I get a witness? It is hard work. I came into the business. I probably didn't come into the business like you guys, even though I have boyish looks. I am quite older than most people that I talk to. But anyways, I came into the business dialing for dollars and knocking on doors. That's what I did. And regardless of the fact of how I came into the business or how you came into the business, at the end of the day, we share something. We share the fact that we all want to be great. We all want to be excellent at what we do. We sit in a very sacred seat as financial professionals, providing financial advice, whether that be insurance or tax or financial planning or investments, whatever you do. As a financial professional, you are sitting in a sacred seat because people give you a lot of themselves beyond just money and the financial monetary part of it. I mean, we help with anxiety and all different kinds of stuff. You guys know the job that we do. So at the end of the day, the goal is to be excellent at doing that. Now, before I hop into this first question, I uncovered something that my mentor showed me. And when I started putting this together, I said, this makes total sense. And it is the fact, it's this law called Price's Law. Has anybody heard of Price's Law? Anybody? Okay. Well, Price's Law basically states that 50% of the output of any domain can be found by doing the square root of that number. So if you have 4 people on your team, then 2 people do 50% of the work. If you have 10 people on your team or 100 people on your team, 10 people do the work. It's actually kind of interesting when you get these numbers scaled up. And he's like, Dominique, why are you talking about Price's Law? I don't really care about that. Actually, you do. By most estimates, there's 350,000 people calling themselves financial advisors per Cerulean Associates. The square root of that is a little less than 600, 591 to be exact. And what that means to me is, first of all, the definition, which is 591 financial advisors are responsible for 50% of the outcome in this particular domain called financial services, which is pretty astonishing compared to 350,000. The second thing that tells me is a principle that I want you to capture, which kind of dovetails into the rest of this thing, which is excellence scales incrementally while mediocrity scales exponentially. I'll say that again. Excellence scales incrementally while mediocrity scales exponentially. So if you're on this, that means you want to be excellent. So what are the things that you need to be excellent? I think you need to answer these 3 questions that I'm about to give you. So I'm going to go through the 3 questions, high level, and then I'm going to run back through the answers and how to apply them, a practical tip. Is that good? Type 1 in the chat if you're ready for the first question. All right, and I'll take this ebook thing down. Don't forget to register for your chance to win, okay? All right, very good. Okay, so question number 1. How do I find the right type of clients for my practice? Every financial advisor asks that. Like, who's my tribe? Who do I niche to? What's my specialization? Everybody asks the same question. And it's a good question to ask, by the way. The next question they ask is, how do I know what price to charge? There seems to be price sensitivity. I know a few years back, and maybe still is a deal, where this whole thing about robo-advisors and price fee compression and yada, yada, yada. So there's this whole notion around what is the right price to charge. And the third question is, how do I retain these clients? I do all this work, and at the end of the day, I don't want to have to do the work again. Like, I want to be able to retain these people. I want them to be loyal to me. I want them to refer. I want to do such a great job that they actually they clone themselves and give me some or refer them to some of my friends, right? So those are the 3 questions. Now, what I will say is, Stephen, is this going to be recorded? I guess, as long as live LinkedIn leaves it up on the live. So I hope that's a great enough answer for you, my friend. Just in case you got to hop. Okay, so let's double click on question number 1. All right, let me get a swig here. Hopefully this is helping you guys. Okay, so how do I know which are the right clients? How do I find the right clients for my business? Newsflash, and this is probably going to be one of the more controversial things I say. I'm pretty controversial. I call the broker dealer the broken dealer. Like, I don't really care. I've been in the industry long enough. I'm fine to step on toes. Like, I say all the stuff that seems like it's unpolitically correct, whatever the term is. So that's all right with me. You're going to have to love me anyway, or just, chew the meat and throw away the bone. So here's the deal. How do I find the right client is the wrong question to ask. Why is that the wrong question to ask? Well, let me give you an example. The other day, me and my wife, we like typically, like, after our days are done, we're both self-employed. So we kind of like to settle down, and we might watch an old movie or something like that, something we've seen before. But my TV had been giving me problems. My old TV, I had a plasma. It dates me a little bit. I had a plasma TV. And so, long story short, I started researching TVs because I had a desire about what features I wanted. I wanted 4K. I wanted to hook up to my Google Home. I wanted all the smart TV features. I wanted to be able to press a button and say, hey, Google, play, blah, blah, blah. I wanted to be able to do all that stuff. I wanted the resolution. I wanted all that stuff. So I got down to 2 choices, Hisense and TCL. And I end up paying about 300, 400 bucks more for my Hisense 4K because it had all the features I want. Now, did Hisense or TCL send me ads or knock on my door or call me and say, Dominique, come buy our great TV? No, they didn't. What they did is when I was ready, when I had a desire, they had an offer ready. And when I went on to Google and then YouTube, just all kinds of stuff, information galore, able to, kind of nerd out and geek out and find all the stuff that I wanted. Then I went to Best Buy and I bought the TV. So, my question for you is, why don't we do the same in financial services? Like, what's the deal? So, it's not how do I find the right client for my practice, it's how do I become more findable? It's so much easier if you become findable instead of trying to find the right client. The best way to become findable is to become a specialist. And I don't really mean a specialist like a tax specialist or an investment specialist per se. You can do that. That's fine. I'm not knocking that. What I'm saying is a specialist from the standpoint of, how, me and my wife are watching Suits now on Netflix. I know it's a little while. Look, I don't watch a whole lot of TV. So when I do watch, I catch up. I play catch up. The idea, there's a character in here that the main characters have where he's like the guy that finds everybody's stuff, right? He goes and researches. He's like the private investigator. And that's kind of what you have to be as a financial professional. You have to be this specialist that knows everything about your ICA, your ideal client avatar. ICA is what I call them, ideal client avatar. This is the avatar of the person that you serve the best, that's waiting on your brand of financial advice to cross their path, their desire, and then your offer, and then that meets up, and then it's like, this is great. Where have you been all my life, Stephen Humphrey? Where have you been all my life, Arceo Wicker? Like that's kind of like the deal. So this is the practical tip on how to, so let me recap. How do the question is, how do I find the right client for my practice? Wrong question. And I'm going to break all the rules, like I told you I do already, which is answer a question with the question. The answer to that question is, how do I become more findable? You answer that question and you have solved that riddle. Now, let me give you a practical tip on how to do this. So, if you go to Google, I will put this up, but I just don't want to be here until like 5 o'clock. I know you guys would probably hang with me because you guys are great, but at the end of the day, I don't. I'm just going to give you the step-by-steps. Let's say, for kicks and grins, that you are, and I'm going to use this theme throughout, let's say that you specialize in tax. You're a financial professional that specializes in tax, getting tax strategies for people and okay? We also know that the Tax Cut Job Act, TCJA, is expiring 2025, right? So we got 2023, 2024, 2025. And then we got new tax legislation. Steve Jarvis can help me with this because he's the tax specialist on here. But we have new tax legislation that are most likely going to happen, right? Now, let's say that you are going to say, I want to serve millionaires with all the issues that they're going to have, like from an estate planning standpoint or whatever you say. Like, okay, say maybe it's estate planning or something like that. So then you Google, this is what you're going to do. Step one, you're going to Google what are the implications or problems for millionaires or decamillionaires with the expiring of the TCJA in 2025. And then what Google's going to do, it could be any question, by the way, like any question. What Google's going to do is going to spit you out some responses as soon as you hit enter. Then what you're going to do is scroll down to about third or the middle of the page, and it's going to say, people also ask. They're going to say something like that. People also ask. And the coolest thing about this, to find out everything you need to know and become the specialist for these decamillionaires or these millionaires that need help with the TCJA sunsetting, is then you're going to click on one of those questions that people also ask. And what Google does is it populates a whole nother set of questions for you. And then you click on the next one and it populates a whole nother set of questions for you, like 8 to 10 questions. And what you're going to do is you're going to write down all these questions. And the next time you prepare your content, send your articles, do your videos, write a blog, you're going to be answering these questions. And that's going to be your content calendar. Okay? Practical tip for how to find the right client for your person or for your practice. All right. Type 2 in the chat if you're ready for second question. All right. And don't forget to sign up to your to make sure you get your ebook, because there's going to be a drawing. There is going to be a drawing if you do not sign up. Let me put you won't be able to get the free ebook, and you will not be able to get to the you will not be entered into the drawing for the VIP ticket for the challenge. All right, here we go. Question number 2 is, how do I know what price to charge? Now, I've talked to a whole lot of financial professionals, consulted with them and coached them over the 4 years that I've been doing this. And there is a lot of consternation, I think unnecessarily, around price sensitivity. This is an issue with a lot of people, like whether we're talking about fee compression or, what do I charge for a financial plan, or like all this other kind of stuff. And let me boil this down to something that's like, I believe is super simple, okay? The first reason that you're going to have a problem with price is not competition. So let's get that out the way. It's not because of competition. The reason that you have a problem with price or price sensitivity is because you don't really understand the difference between price and value. So what I'm going to do in this second point is kind of explore what the difference is between price and value and give you a practical tip on how to do that, right? Okay, so here we go. Price, without making it super technical, just easy to remember, is price is what your ideal client avatar or client pays for your services. Value is what you deliver. But you go like, Dom, those are the same thing. Not exactly. Because your price to value relationship needs to be asymmetrical. So value needs to be so much more, at least 10 times more than the price they pay. Then there's no more price sensitivity. If a person's not taking you up at that, it's just not for them. And that's totally fine. Like, don't be thinking that every person that you run across, like the financial services industry trains you to do or teaches you to do, is that everybody with a warm body or everybody with a pulse, all your friends and family, a list of 100 or 200, no. Most of those people you probably don't even want to serve, and it's going to make Thanksgiving feel so weird when you try to sell them something. So no, don't do that. So here's the deal. What you need to do is, after you really, really know, and these things are layered, right? So they build upon each other. If you really know your ideal client avatar because you've done that Google search and you know, okay, decamillionaires and millionaires want to know the 5 things, the 5 moves they need to make before the TCJA sunsets in 2025. Like, they might want to know that. And if that is, then what you need to do is, let me give you these steps. These are practical steps in what you can do. I've done this before with my wealth management clients. I've also done it in my coaching practice, so it definitely works. What you're going to do is you're going to create a case study or some type of giveaway. I like to call it a give to get offer. You give them something of value and you get their attention. Okay? That's how that works in the world today. Some people call it a lead magnet, whatever. All right? So you're going to create this lead magnet that ideally they can download while you're sleeping or hanging out in a live, like Lindsay and Arcelia and Owen and Sandra are doing right now. Like, you don't have to be present in order for them to get what they need to get from you. You tracking? They go into they read your blog or they saw your video, they go to your website, they download this case study that has the 5 moves that you need to make in order to beat 5 moves you need to make before the TCJA expires, right? And it's crafted to them. Maybe that's just a working title. You can change it to whatever you want. They download that and they go, wow, I really need to talk to Arcelia because he got some really good moves. And then what happens is they book a session or a complimentary discovery session or however you do. And then what we need to do is pack so much value into that meeting and then the offer we're going to make that there is no price sensitivity. Because if somebody's making over $1 million, let me give you an example. I have a client that her W-2 for 2022 is $1 million. And the reality is because of the nature of her work and she has no deductions, she's literally paying 50 cents of the dollar for the next 10 years or so that she's working. Well, what we did is we created a way that she'll be able to pull out, in addition to her 401k and all this other kind of stuff, she'll be able to pull out tax-free about 70 to 80 grand when she starts retiring, which was a big deal for her. She's saving a lot of money. Like, if I save her tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, like, she doesn't mind if I charge her $4,000 or $5,000 for a financial plan. Like, that's just how that works. So as long as you pack enough value into whatever your offer is that meets their desire, I would say, general rule of thumb, whatever you're going to charge, let's say it's $4,000 for a financial plan, you need to be delivering at least $40,000 of value. That's kind of the formula. So if you don't have that, then you need to kind of pivot to a different offer. Because a lot of people are going to go, well, I don't have the confidence to do a $4,000, charge $4,000 for a plan, or compliance won't let me do that. Okay. You know, that might be why you need to get in the 3 moves mindset challenge. But all that to say, that is the formula. Okay. So make sure, let me give you this nugget. Make sure that the price to value relationship is way asymmetrical. Like, it is so outlandish. Even if you want to do like 20 times or something, it just kind of depends on your profit margins and what you're trying to do. But at the end of the day, it should be at least 10. Okay. All right. Everybody tracking. Type 3 in the chat if you're ready for question 3. I'm just going through these. Steven said, yeah, I speak fast. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, it is a habit. I'm taking pills and injections for it. Yeah, I'm just going through some of the questions, making sure I didn't have any Q&A. And we will do Q&A. I was really trying to be done in enough time for us to do some Q&A. Okay. All right. 3. You guys ready? You still with me? Okay. How do I retain clients? Well, this is a good question also, because after you do all this work, there is no way that you want to have your client leave you because they're dissatisfied. That's why clients leave. Clients leave because they're dissatisfied. They may not tell you that they're dissatisfied, but that's why they leave. At the end of the day, I mean, just kind of think about yourself as in your purchasing behavior for the services industry. If you don't go to a restaurant anymore, you're dissatisfied. Like you had an experience that you're like, I ain't going through that again. Like, it's too hard to, do what I do to make the money I make, then to go give it away in a place that does not serve me the right way. No. So your clients are thinking the same way. So at the end of the day, there's I'm thinking about what I'm about to say. That's why I'm laughing. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, what this is laziness on the part of the financial professional. And this is the part of this I was laughing at. So I've been married 26 years to my lovely wife. And sometimes I get lazy as a husband, right? Like, I might skip date night or something like that. And she'll remind me, she'll kind of kind of nudge me like, hey, when you taking me out, what we gonna do? Like, she likes to do things. She's not a flowers and candy type of girl. She's like more like, let's go to a winery, or let's go have a nice dinner or something like that. Right. So I have to be cognizant of those type of things in order to keep her satisfied. Or I will reap the consequences of that negligent behavior, right? So at the end of the day, I have to build things up. I can't get lazy just because I wifed her. I can't get lazy as a husband as I continue to be romantic and woo her, right? Same thing with your clients, kind of, right? You don't have to win them all over again, but you do need to continue to A, evolve yourself. That's the first part. That's internal. We'll talk about that in just a second. And then B, you need to continue to look at their evolution and watch their evolution in order to be as relevant as you need to be to keep them satisfied. Okay. So what does that internal thing look like? Well, the internal part of it looks like and this is not necessarily the formula, but this could be part of the formula, is you are niching down from a specialization standpoint, which means you might need to, crack open a book or two. I'm not saying you got to go enroll in a bunch of certifications and designations and all that kind of stuff. You may want to do that. It just depends on what road you're going down, because there is some specialized knowledge that you can't get from just reading a book. But what I'm saying is you need to sharpen yourself. You need to stay sharp. And that means that you're going to have to start looking at all the things that are potentially gaps, blind spots, things that if you don't have a team that you cannot outsource things to, that you start to cover yourself, or at least expose what those weaknesses are and be aware of them instead of not being aware of them, right? So that we're talking about a lot of self-work there. The second thing, or the second part of that is, so that's the internal part. The external part is, okay, so my ideal client avatar, when I met them 2, 3, 5, 7, 10 years ago, they are likely not the same. Like, life has happened to them. They have learned more in their career. Kids are getting older if they had them. They're getting older. They're maybe building wealth. Maybe life has happened. Like, all these things you need to kind of be aware of, right? Because their needs and their preferences and their desires are going to change over time. And if you don't stay aware of those and kind of up and up on those, then what's going to end up happening is you are not going to be relevant to them. And then they're going to go seek someone else to solve the problems that they have, because they may have new problems. So what is a real practical tip, Dominique, that will allow me to, because I'm tracking with you, that does make sense, but what would I do in order to kind of get that feedback? Well, you would do something very similar to what we did in first question, where you typed into Google and you said, people also ask, and you double clicked on that. That's one way to do it. But the real way to do this, if you have clients already, is to just ask them for feedback. Do a client survey every so often and say, look, these are the areas that I'm concentrating on building up in my practice. And I want to make sure that as I build these areas up, I am taking to heart and I'm considering the feedback of the clients that I serve, like yourself. Like, you can word it any type of way you want. What I will say, don't make it a real long survey, because I don't like to fill out long surveys, and I bet your clients don't. You don't either. So just make it really short and sweet, to the point, and give them, maybe put a self-addressed envelope into it, into whatever you send them, and let them send it back to you, however you want to do it. But the point is you got to get some feedback from them. Stay relevant, and make sure that you are considering them, because these are the people you're serving, right? Financial services, the root word in services is serve. So, like, let's make sure that we're staying abreast of the things that matter to them, right? And here's the deal. Let me just say this, because, like, I don't think this is taught. This is kind of a freebie. I'm just thinking about this in a stream of consciousness manner. Like, I know what the industry does. First of all, it tries to make us all look the same. And at the end of the day, it's like, I need to hold on to every client I have. No, sometimes you need to have a hard conversation with clients and be like, look, I have served you as the best I can. It's time for us to part ways. It's time for me to find you someone else that can do a better job for you. Like, I'm evolving as an advisor. You're evolving as a person. Like, our paths are too distinct and separate now that I can't serve you the best. Like, that might be how I have that might be a hard conversation to have, but sometimes you do well to do that, so that you can concentrate on the people that you're really meant to serve. Like, my philosophy is, and I know everybody won't agree with this, but my philosophy is, there's probably somewhere between 50 and 100 families that one advisor can serve really well. I think the number is closer to 50 to 75 actually, but I know certain shops, depending on what you offer as core services, it can probably bubble up to 100. But past that, like, all the data shows that, like, as far as close relationships, past 50, you start forgetting intricate details that actually make you of value to those people. And so, and that, granted, I know there's technology and you have teams, but, like, yeah, if you grow your team, yeah, you can serve more people. But the point is, stay relevant. That's how you retain clients. You have to stay relevant and ask them for feedback. Definitely ask them for feedback. Okay. So those are the 3 questions. I think we're going to open it up for Q&A now before we do the drawing. Let me check all my spreadsheets and stuff. Has everybody downloaded their free ebook. All you have to do is go to domhendersonsr.com/free ebook, which is what's on the screen right now. Once you go to that page, you enter your name and email address, you'll get the free ebook, and you'll be entered into the drawing that we're about to do in, a few minutes or so. All right. Very good. Let's see. Let me go back through here. Lindsay, yeah, become findable instead of how do I find the right clients. And the way we do this is by being specialists. Yes. Yeah, we have to be specialists. I don't think I was definitely not brought into the industry that way. Like that was just not the deal. Should I expose the industry real quick? Like, I just feel like I have to do this every time I get a platform to do this. I'm gonna have to watch myself next week because I'm not sure the American College will appreciate if I say this statement on their platform. But okay, so this is the way I see it. This is Dom 101. You can quote me all you want. And I know some people will be mad at me on this, but okay. So the broker-dealer industry, the broker-dealer side of financial services is about collecting AUM. If it's a publicly traded company, their first obligation is to who? Shareholders. It is what it is. If the stock price doesn't go up, then the company is going to look bad and people get fired on the board and yada, yada, yada. That's just how that works. It's no different than outside the financial services industry. So of course it works the same way inside the financial services industry. So if it's a publicly traded company, their first obligation, first person in line as who's the most important is the shareholder. Okay. So if you're working for one of those, I'm just telling you how TI is, as my dad says. This is how it is. So first is the shareholder. If you're working for a broker dealer, which most of us had to do, including myself at some point. So I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong. I'm just saying it is what it is. You need to understand this. It might help you kind of like stomach or bear or tolerate the things that go on in the industry without being so frustrated, because you understand how how the sausage is made, so to speak. So first in line is the shareholder. Next in line is not the client. It is firm stakeholders. Because if you notice, if you have a Series 7 or a Series 6 or something like that, what is your technical title by FINRA? What is your technical title called by FINRA? Does anybody know this? If you're in the chat, what is your technical title by FINRA? If you went up on the IAPD website to look up your CRD number, what would it say? Does anybody know this? Okay, I'm gonna give you this. You would be called a registered representative. You would not be called a financial advisor, a financial professional, a financial coach, whatever you call yourself. You would be called a registered representative. A registered representative who? Great question. The broker-dealer. You are a registered representative. You represent the broker-dealer. So, second in line is the firm stakeholders and or broker-dealer. Then that means by default, the third space, like they can't even be first or second because of how what we just explained, then becomes the client. So when you work for the broker-dealer, just know that in the large scheme of things, the financial services views them as third, not even first. I'm just saying. Like, so don't get so frustrated when you're like trying to do things and you're trying to, create these podcasts and these LinkedIn posts and all this kind of stuff, and compliance is like shooting all that stuff down. They're like, nope, can't do that. Nope, can't do that. Nope, can't do that. No, don't even try it. Like they're giving you all those. And the reason why is because when the client is third and the shareholder is first and the firm is second, then what do they have to do? Well, they have to manage to the lowest common denominator. So they got knucklehead Fred in there that's trying to, sell, whatever, I don't know, index annuities to 95-year-old grandmas, whatever he's doing. So that's the problem. And so a lot of people leave that structure because Whether you want to use the term fiduciary or not, the point is, if you go into the independent channel, the client moves up the ladder. They move up the line in priority, typically to first, if not second. Okay. Again, publicly traded companies have a problem with this, and I technically think it's a conflict of interest, but you know that's just dumb. All right, so yes, you're right, Arcelia, registered rep. Yeah, registered rep. That means you represent the broker dealer. That's the broker dealer's your daddy. Okay. All right. Okay, so let us do this. Give me a second. I need to recalibrate my spreadsheet, guys. I am about, if you're done, okay, how do I want to say this? I'm giving you, I guess the next 2 minutes to enter your name into the drawing. Because if you don't, I'm going to freeze everything right now, and we're done with the giveaway. Okay, so the last one was at 4:07 in 37 seconds. So if you're just hopping on and you haven't done it for whatever reason, I'm telling you, I'm about to freeze everything, and and in my random number generator, we're going to be good to go. Okay, I am assigning numbers right now. And everybody that's in is in. Okay, so drawing is officially closed. All right, so what are you in the drawing for? I think that is good for everybody to know. Give me just a second. I need to freeze all these numbers so everybody keeps their space, so we can make it nice and fair. Okay. I'm sorry. One more second here. All right. So we I wrote an ebook a couple of weeks ago, a month ago or so now. And what I thought about is you guys. I thought about the existing financial professional. I've done so much work. Arcelia and Sandra and a lot of people in this chat, and they know the work that I've done on the aspiring financial professional career changer side. If people on this live are unfamiliar with me, or the replay audience is. And so this year I made a decided pivot to start helping existing financial professionals level up and really embrace their superpower to serve more people, right? So that's the way I choose to serve the industry. Well, I wrote an ebook, The 3 Moves, that you just got. Hopefully you enjoy it. My aim in doing that ebook was to make sure that information that I have gleaned over the last 23 years was readily accessible. Same way I do with my YouTube channel and just about everything else I do, is so that everybody can go in and get the information that they want. Here's the deal. I realized that after reading the ebook, you might be like, okay, how does this practically work? Well, today was a kind of a hors d'oeuvres, if you will, of what we do monthly, starting August 14th through the 18th. This will be what I call the 3 Moves Mindset Challenge. So you get 5 days of this. At the VIP level, you get 5 days plus some time in Q&A to kind of break down your practice, what you may be working through, issues you might be having, ideas you might have that have gotten tanked or blah, 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 or whatever. And you might need some more perspective on that. So you really get some coaching. But there will be 5 days of live content walking you through the 3 moves and the mindset that is attached to that. That is what the challenge is. $97 for general admission, which gets you the live stream. You get to watch. The VIP gets you time with me and the other people that would be in VIP, kind of like a mastermind, right? So we can kind of brainstorm and whatnot. So really great environment. I've done this with several different iterations of programs that I've had. I love this format. It works really well. It's kind of immersion learning. So the VIP ticket is $297. And so we'll be giving away, you know what? I'm feeling good today. Why don't we give away 2 VIP tickets? 2 VIP tickets today. And then, yeah, so that's the way we'll do that. So drawing, looks like we have about 14 names, it looks like, ish. Something like that. Give me a second here. I'm such a nice guy. Somebody joined late. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Okay, let's do that. All right. So I am refreshing. So all names are in. Nobody, matter of fact, let me take this down so nobody else jumps in here messing up my flow. And this is what we'll do too. Before we do the drawing, I know you guys are, we got about, I promise another 18 minutes or so. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to answer a couple of questions. If you guys want to hop on live with me, that's the best way to do this because there's such a delay with the platform I'm using that it would just, I don't think it would really work the way I would want to unless you just come on camera with me. So let's just do that. Give me a second. I'm going to copy the link and I'm going to put it on the screen and also in the chat. So give me just a second. So join me live. Here's that. So if you want to, in the chat, you can just copy paste that and I'll see you come in my green room, my digital green room. And I also want to, give me a second, I also want to put it here. I'm sorry I couldn't change the URL. So the URL is what it is. Okay, so that's how you can join me live to ask a question. I won't bite. You can definitely come on and ask a question. Okay, so give me a second here. Let me go back to my spreadsheet. Okay, spreadsheet is now frozen. No more names. Copy, paste, values only. All right, so we will be giving away 2 VIP tickets to random people that were on this. And let's see, how can I do this objectively? All right. It is now 4:14 Central Standard Time, and I'm going to use the minute marker of the second. And give me just a second. I hear you calling. Hold on just a second, caller. So hey, give me just a second, Grant Montgomery. So first ticket goes to. We're gonna use the 14 seconds. Is oops, sorry, I didn't redo that one. Give me a second. Oh wait, we don't have 14. How many names do we have? Oh, we only have 13. Okay, so I use 13, the 13th name. 13th name is Sandra Watson. Sandra Watson gets a VIP ticket. So let me write that down. Now, if your email is a one that you did not want me to send stuff to, is your spam email, I can't do anything about that. So make sure you, oh wait, my camera went away. Give me a second here. Sorry, folks. Hold on a second. I'm still here. Let me find out what happened to my camera. There we go. Okay. I don't know what happened there. That was odd. Okay. So, yes. Give me a second to go back to... All right. I'm all discombobulated. Hold on a second. There we go. Okay. So I need to add a guest. That's what I need to do. There we go. Okay, whoever that was, you can call back. I'm sorry. I lost you for a second. Okay, so Sandra, congratulations for your VIP. No, I did. I used a random generator. I mean, I just didn't feel like showing you guys all that kind of stuff. I mean, I hope you guys trust me. I mean, I did give you almost an hour's worth of content. Hopefully you do trust me. But yeah, I just picked the last name. Maybe you were just talking about how I would pick it. So yeah, we had 13 people and I just picked 13. Okay. The next one will be, it is now 4:16. So 1 plus 6 is 7. So we'll pick number 7. And that is Trent McKean. Trent McKean, First Wealth Advisors. You got a VIP ticket to the challenge, my friend. All right. All right. Very good. So as long as your email addresses are good, Sandra and Trent, I will email you next steps on that. Okay. Fun times. Good stuff. All right. Um. So I lost Grant. Grant, did you want to? I'm sorry. Like I guess I deleted you. Unfortunately, my bad. You can call back in, my friend. Let me do this. I'll repaste the link real quick. All right. Any questions? What do we got? What do we got? We got any questions on what I went over on the 3 questions? On my answers, on my practical tip for each answer. Anybody? I'll bring you in. And like I said, if you don't mind, please just call in because that would be the greatest. Just click that link and it will bring up a. If you don't want to, I guess you don't have to be on camera, but the delay that I'm getting right now with LinkedIn with the comments is significant enough that it would just bog down this whole deal if we did it via text. So, yeah, there we go. Okay. Anybody coming to? Okay, no worries. I'm just getting caught up with the chat. Great, thanks, Grant. Okay, you're welcome, Sandra. I keep on calling you Sandra because I have a friend, name spelled the same, and we call her Sandra. So, apologize for that. I'm just going back through questions, or the chat rather. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Good stuff. Well, I do hope this has been helpful for everyone. My idea of success looks like empowering financial professionals to embrace their superpower. And so if I can serve you guys in that particular way, I'm happy to do that. Would love to see you in the challenge. If not this month, if not August, like I said, the dates are August 14th through the 18th. Actually, hold on just a second. Let me bring up the challenge page. That way you can kind of see what happens after you register. Give me a second. I did intend to do that. So, yes. So this is what that looks like. And let's find my camera again. Okay, there we go. This is what that looks like, the challenge page. And like I said, it's a way to invest in yourself. It's a way to make sure that you are maintaining your excellence, like we talked about at the beginning, right? The excellence scales incrementally, but mediocrity scales exponentially. Like we want to make sure that we're excellent. So Monday through Friday, an hour each day, unless you're VIP, which in case it's almost 2 hours or just about 2 hours. And then we go over all this stuff. We go over the mindset. We go over what it looks like to build your ideal practice, and then the components of that. So, got to increase your leads, obviously. Like, you need more people showing up, knocking on your door saying, hey, I'm interested in what you're doing. Can you help me? Like, that's a real thing. So that we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about increasing the wallet share. So every client has a lifetime value. And if you can increase that lifetime value to your firm, then you're going to be doing really well. Most clients don't give you most of what they have in their wallet share because they don't trust you enough. So how can we break down those barriers in order for you to have more trust with them? Thirdly, how do you increase the longevity? Like loyalty and longevity, how do you become the type of advisor that clients want to refer? Like, hey, I have a friend over here that I told them how you helped me do blah, 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 and now they want to talk to you. How do you do that? So those are all of the different things that we'll be talking about over those 5 days. And so then that's the cost, obviously. So noon to 1 or 11 to 1, however, whatever ticket you purchase obviously dictates how much time that is. So August 14th through the 18th, We're gonna have a lot of fun. How is this? How do I typically do this? Just so you can know some of the secret behind the sauce is you will join. This will be streamed through a private Facebook group. So once you sign up, you'll get all the information on how to join the group, and the challenge is streamed inside the group. So you get to chatting back and forth with your your challenge buddies, and there's homework and there's everything. This is a lot. It's a really great experience if you haven't been through one of my challenges before. So you can kind of trust me on that. We'll treat you right. We'll make sure that it is well worth your time, investment of money and time. All right, very good. So I am. Oh, okay, cool. Sandra is your name, not Sandra. Okay, great. I'm glad to know that. This is what happens when you have this long delay between. I'm gonna probably use another platform the next time I do this. So that will be the way that I fix this. All right, great stuff. Well, I will. What I will probably do is just so if you wanted to watch this again, because there were some things that I said, or you had to leave early, or any kind of stuff like that. This will probably be on my YouTube channel sometime this weekend. I don't know exactly how LinkedIn does with where they store lives and how you find them and all this other kind of stuff. I don't know all those things. I have never been able to retrieve a LinkedIn live that I did easily. So if if anybody has, maybe you can let me know, but I don't know how to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull it down. The software that I use made a recording of this, and I'll pull it down and I'll put it up on my channel probably sometime this weekend or whatnot. Okay, very good. Well, I hope this has been helpful for you guys and gals. So thank you for hanging with me. And I hope these 3 questions, as you start thinking about your practice and who you serve and who you want to serve, that you start thinking about this in that context, because it's going to make you so much better. Like, clients are going to love you for it. Prospective clients are going to love it for you. Your ideal client avatar will definitely love you for it. All right. Very good. We'll see you guys later. Take care. Have a great day. All right. Bye-bye.